on Jesus. I think we're going to focus on ourselves.
All right.
Jesus is always involved, but sometimes we forget the paradoxical or the other side of his resurrection. And we look at, he rose from the grave and he died, but we don't think about the things that he went through beforehand.
All right.
Yeah.
I tell you one thing, it is the things before
All right.
Yeah.
Come on.
that, sometimes dying is easier than dealing with the crap that you have to go through before you're in. Just before you get to the thing that God has promised you, it is always a storm.
Yeah, right.
So if you would turn to Matthew 26, 14 verse through 16, and it reads as thus: Then one of the 12, called Judas Iscariot, went unto the chief priest and said unto them, What will ye give me, and I will deliver him unto you? Right there is, what is your price? God has a lot of things for you. But sometimes we will settle for less.
Yeah.
You're going to always get less than you settle for. And they covenanted with him for 30 pieces of silver, slave wage. Matthew 26, 46, 50. Boy, when you cover with Satan, he makes a slave out of you, won't he?
All right.
Rise, let us be going. Behold, he is at hand that doeth betray me. And while he yet spake, lo, Judas, one of the 12, came, and with him a great multitude with swords and staves from the chief priests and elders of the people. Now he that betrayed him gave them a sign, saying, Whomsoever I shall kiss, that same is he. Hold him fast. And forthwith he came to Jesus and said, Hail, Master, and kissed him. And Jesus said unto him, Friend, wherefore art thou come? Then came they and laid hands on Jesus and took him. You may take a seat. I want to talk to you about the motive of Judas.
All right. Come on now.
The motive of Judas.
All right.
And as I looked at him, I looked at us. And Judas was nothing but someone like us that God has placed in the ministry. For Jesus is called the pastor, and they are his disciples. I am your pastor. You are the disciples. And Judas had an agenda. And the cool thing about it is that it just seemed like Jesus' agenda wasn't good enough. Jesus' ministry wasn't good enough. It wasn't getting where he wanted to be. But in reality, Judas sold himself and caused riffraff and trouble. You know how people in the church, when they don't like the pastor no more, they don't like what the ministry is calling for, or they're upset about something, they cause disturbance.
All right. All right.
And they try to sabotage the ministry.
Yeah.
So they commit spiritual suicide. Because one thing I found out, God's will shall be done.
That's right. Amen.
So what he was thinking about, remember, when Jesus rose from the dead and he gave the commissions to the disciples, what Judas Judas wanted, he was going to get.
Yeah.
Because the 11 plus 1, Matthews, he in this, they begin to reign and rule the kingdom. And really that's what Judas wanted.
Yeah.
But he could not see the big picture. It's gorgeous to know you are destined to die a horrific death on the cross.
All right. Come on.
And to bring the past life to those that care nothing about you. It's already hard. Nonetheless, it's more strenuous to have prayed to the Father all night long to pick the right ones that will ultimately betray you, deny you, and forsake you. Remember, Jesus had picked these disciples after he had went up and prayed all night long that he would pick the 12. And he knew Judas would betray him for 30 pieces of silver.
Yeah. Yeah.
He knew Peter would deny him 3 times before the cock crowed.
Yeah.
And the other 9 would abandon him,
Yes, sir. Oh, God.
run into a house and stay and be scared. Only one stayed, and that was the beloved, his beloved John, that stayed with his mother. For Jesus said, "Behold, this is my mother." So here is 9 of them hiding in the house. 3 has betrayed, 1 has betrayed him, and 1 has denied him. He already knows this. So here it is. Most scholars will say that Judas cared nothing about Jesus. That's what most scholars say. Most scholars said that Judas just had this hate towards him and was never with him, never cared about him. Moreover, I found in my study and in my observation that Jesus and Judas was okay.
Yeah. Come on now.
Judas loved Jesus and he cared a whole lot about him.
Come on.
That's how we are with the pastor and the ministry. We love the pastor. We care for him because he's good to us, but there's something else. Moreover, I found that in betrayal, one mind operates in their agenda and unable to see the big picture. This is Judas being a zealot and coming to grips that they were not, Jesus and him was not on the same page, and he felt the need to force his hand to create a war among the Jews and the Romans. Judas' uncompromising pursuit to establish an everlasting physical kingdom was fading away by Jesus' unorthodox ways of doing things. How in the world are you going to overthrow a Roman Empire and you healing folk?
All right.
And Jesus knew this all the time. What a mighty God we serve.
Yes, sir.
Oh, thank you, Jesus. Because if I would have known.
All right.
Come on now.
Because when we pick people, we pick people who is on our level.
All right. Come on now.
We pick people that are loyal and unwavering.
Yeah.
They care about us. We pick people that are ride and die us.
Yeah.
We pick people that favor us and has this admonition or this admiration for us. Here is Jesus sleeping with his betrayer. He's eating and drinking and he's walking and praying and ministering and healing and delivering those with those that are about to crumb him.
Yeah.
He's healing people and preaching, knowing that the 12 and knowing their faiths. You know, it's hard to deal with fake folk anyway. They are being nice to you.
All right.
They are helping you and talking to you and encouraging you and laughing with you.
Lord.
They're smiling at you and hugging and kissing you.
Yes, Lord.
Helping you get jobs and all kinds of things, but when you know at the same time they're crumbing you.
All right. Oh, Lord. Come on.
Solomon said this so well. In dealing with a person, you know what? The thing that whatever a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. And see, we use this scripture sometime out of context because he's talking about a miser. And what he's saying is, come eat and drink. But in his heart, he got something for you. He really don't have no love for you. He got something for you. Really, he's fattening you up for the kill. When you know their attitude, you know your attitude stinks. You smile when you look at them. But when they turn around, you're rolling your eyes. Because you know. They all up in your face cackling. But when they turn around, in your head, you're talking about you snake and you think. Come on, let's be real today. But that's why I give Jesus aggrandizement, because he didn't treat them like that. Because when Judas came in and kissed him, he said, friend, why have you come?
Come on now.
But you know, we would call him everything up under the sun except a child of God. That's why I glorify his name and I praise his name and extol him, because when he chose me, he chose a fornicator.
All right. Hallelujah.
When he chose me, he chose an adulterer, he chose a deceiver, he chose a drunk and a crackhead and a dopehead. He chose some stuff.
Yes, Lord.
That wasn't on his level. He chose some folk that didn't care nothing about him. All they was worried about going to the club on Saturday night. But he chose me anyway, and I'm so glad that he looked over my house and saw my need.
Hallelujah.
Because I needed him so bad. I didn't know. But Jesus looked at me and saw the condition that I was in, and he pulled me up. Knowing that I would forsake him. Yet I was a sinner, he still died for me. Yet I was a sinner, he still blessed me. Yes, I was a sinner, he still healed me. He delivered me even though I cared nothing about him. I should have been dead a long time ago, but he done it for me anyway. Is there anybody in this house that should have been crazy as a Beelzebub, rocking in a chair? But you know what? God looked out for you anyway. I'm glad Jesus said and told me to pray this, deliver me from evil, and also do not tempt me into temptation. When he's saying, Lord, keep things from happening, and at the same time, take me out of stuff that I put myself in. Judas, Benedict going on. So why did Judas do this? What was his motive? Everyone was confused and misunderstood the reason why Jesus came. just like us, sometimes we're very confused why God placed us here and what he wants from us. They believe that Jesus was the second Moses. For Moses delivered them out of the hands of the oppressing Egyptian rule. In this moment, they were under the rule of the Roman Empire, and they felt that Jesus would liberate them. However, there was a difference between Moses and Jesus. Moses delivered them from the physical way of sin.
Say it.
The physical slavery. But Jesus,
hallelujah,
his whole ministry
yes,
was to deliver us
hallelujah,
from the slavery of sin.
All right. All right.
Moses delivered them from Pharaoh. Jesus is delivering us from Satan.
yes. Thank you, God.
Sometimes we can't get that understanding. I truly understand the confusion. For Isaiah said in the 9th chapter and the 6th and 7th verse of Isaiah, the book of Isaiah, 6, for unto us a child is born, and to us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulders. And his name shall be called Wonderful Counselor, the Mighty God, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace.
Yes.
7th verse. Of the increase of his government. Ooh, that sounds physical, don't it?
Yeah. Come on now.
It sounds very political. On the increase of his government and peace, there shall be no end. Upon the throne of David, physical, and upon his kingdom, physical, to order it and to establish it with judgment, with justice, from henceforth, even forevermore. The zeal of the Lord of hosts will perform this. So if you look at these scriptures, these two scriptures, you will believe that this will be a physical movement. He's talking about a kingdom that will be everlasting. He's talking about a kingdom. You remember the Bible talked about the former house and the latter house. And remember the Israelites were powerful people. In the day of David, they reigned over everybody. So here they are, here you are, zealots, people that has the zeal for a greater government, the zeal for Israel to be back to where they used to be. And here the scripture says that one day they will be powerful again, and forever and ever they will never have to deal with this crap again. So looking at this, I understand. Isaiah was saying Jesus will come to establish the kingdom of heaven and to set our souls free from the grip of sin.
All right.
That's what he was saying. Most religious, and one thing I found out is that when God has to show you something tangible for you to understand the spiritual. If he won't give it to me, I'll abandon him and I'll accuse him. If he won't give it to me. But Jesus is looking for somebody that's not worried about the house, but worried about their soul. Jesus is looking for somebody that is not worried about trying to get a husband, but trying to love everybody. Oh, I knew I won't get no amens for that. Because we in here for certain things. We in here just to get a peace of mind. We in here to try to be somebody. But Jesus wants somebody that wants all of him. Not just to answer answer but him.
All right.
Just remember the young man, the young rich ruler that came to him and said, what does it take for me to have everlasting life? He said, well, go ahead and sell your riches to the poor. And follow me. Tell that man walked away sorrowful. You know why? He wanted the answer, but he didn't want Jesus. Because when you deal with Jesus, you're going to have to forsake some things. When you deal with Jesus, you're going to have to pick up your cross and deny some stuff. That's dealing with Jesus.
Yes, sir.
But here is Judas being swallowed up by his shallow agenda.
Yeah. Come on.
The reason why Judas started walking with Jesus, because he thought Jesus was going to overthrow the Roman Empire.
Yeah. All right.
And he would be given an important position. But when Jesus praised Mary for anointing his feet with precious perfume, Judas realized that this is not a physical revolution, but this must be something that is spiritual. Remember that Jesus had appointed him as treasury, appointed him as the president over the money, knowing exactly what his mindset was. See, I know one thing about me. If I know you a crook, I'm not going to put you over the money.
All right.
You know, if I know my wife will steal my money, I'm going to hide my money. But one thing he did, he gave him the money. And he knew that the money was a problem with him. He knew that he was hungry for position. He knew all he wanted was to be powerful.
Yeah.
Judas said to himself, I didn't sign up for this. Jesus, and just like Judas, we didn't sign up to tithe.
Right.
Oh, hallelujah. We didn't sign up to be faithful. We didn't sign up to be dedicated. We didn't sign up to be cared. We didn't sign up to forgive and love everybody. We didn't sign up to endure and to grow. But what we signed up for is for God to bless us.
All right.
I need a new job. I need a new car. My life is out of order. So here it is. Judas, his greed for power, position, money, and status caused him to betray Jesus.
Yeah.
Judas didn't realize that anointing outweighed gifts.
Yes.
He didn't realize that anointing outweighs status and position. He didn't understand that anointing outweighs money and power. The gifts can't break no yokes. Position can't heal. Status can't deliver. Politics can't change nothing. But power of God can. See, remember the disciples sat there and they thought their position was power. But Jesus showed them that title, position, and status is not power. For when the lunatic child came and the man said, I need you to heal my son. And here they are doing the things that when Jesus